Hello everyone, it's me Tiana. Thank you so much to Warren Newport Public Library for having me speak with you all today, and for the friends of the library as well. I am so excited and thrilled to be able to spend some time with you all today. I wish that I could be there in person, but unfortunately in these times, we all have to stay safe and stay healthy. Either way, I am so excited. I have a song that I have prepared for you and a few stories, so please enjoy. Mama, I ain't got time for dancing. That's just gonna have to wait a while. Ain't got time for messing around, and it's not my style. This old town can slow you down, people taking the easy way. But I know exactly where I'm going. I'm getting closer and closer every day, and I'm almost there. I'm almost there. People down here think I'm crazy, but I don't care. Trials and tribulations, I've had my share. There ain't nothing gonna stop me now, 'cause I'm almost there. Now I remember Daddy told me fairy tales can come true, but you've gotta make them happen. It all depends on you. So I work real hard each and every day, but things for sure are going my way. Just doing what I do. Look out, boys, I'm coming through, and I'm almost there. I'm almost there. People gon' come here from everywhere, and I'm almost there. I'm almost there. There's been trials and tribulations, you know I've had my share. But I've climbed a mountain, I've crossed a river, and I'm almost there. I'm almost there. I'm almost there. Now, thank you all so much for singing along with me. I love that song, and I hope you love that song just as much as I do. Now, it's time for a very special story. One of my favorite stories. My story, The Princess and the Frog. Now, ever since I was a little girl, I loved to cook. It was one of my favorite things to do with my daddy. Food brings people together, my dad always told me. Now, I had a big dream. I wanted to own a restaurant one day, right? It would have music and good food, and it would bring people together, just like my daddy said. You see? That's me and my dream. When I grew up, I worked very hard. When I saved up enough money, I tried to buy my own place, a restaurant of my very own. See, I was a waitress there. Do you remember the really delicious beignets I would make? They are so good. Maybe one day I'll be able to bring you some. The two brokers promised to sell me the old sugar mill so that I can make it my own restaurant. Now, do you remember my friend Charlotte? She's very silly, that one, but she was my best friend. Now, my friend Charlotte had a costume party, and I met the brokers there. But do you know what they told me? They told me that I no longer had enough money to buy out the sugar mill, so my dreams of owning my own restaurant were destroyed. I was so upset that I fell, and I ruined my own costume. My dreams of opening a restaurant were gone. Now, Charlotte helped to clean me up, and she gave me a new, beautiful, pretty princess costume. It was a really pretty dress. It was blue and sparkly, but I was still very sad. I saw the evening star in the sky, and I made a wish for my very own restaurant. But instead of a restaurant, who showed up? Do you remember who? Yes, a frog. And I even made a little joke. I wondered, I was like, oh, if I kissed the frog, would my dream come true? And then, do you remember what happened? He spoke to me. Now, the frog told me that he was really a prince named Naveen, but a bad magic man, the voodoo man, had changed him into a frog. Now, would I kiss him if he gave me my own restaurant, which he promised he would do since I was a princess and my kiss would be magic and turn him back into a prince? I said no. Would you kiss a frog? I don't think so. But he said, maybe just one tiny kiss. Maybe that could be so. And maybe if I kissed him, he would actually make my dreams come true and give me my own restaurant. Now, do you remember what happened next? Yes, I kissed the frog. But did he turn back into a prince? No, he did not. He did not turn back into a prince, but instead, I turned into a frog. We fell from the balcony and then bounced off of a few drums, and then we flew away with a few balloons. The two frogs ended up in the bayou, and it was scary there. Do you remember? All those alligators? A big bird tried to eat us. Alligators wanted to eat us. Everything wanted to eat us. It was very, very scary. But somehow, Naveen and I escaped. And while Naveen was busy playing and singing along, I worked to get us out of the bayou and to someone who could help me turn back into a human. Soon, we met an alligator named Louie. And Louie, he loved jazz music, just like Naveen did. Louie and Naveen jammed while I made a plan. Soon, the frogs were hungry. And we were tangled, our tongues tangled, and we tried to eat a fly. Now, I remember that. That was, gross. But a firefly came along and untangled us. Do you remember his name? What was his name? Ray. Now, Ray and his family lit a path through the bayou, and the path, see right here, all the beautiful lights. The path led us to Mama Odie. Now, Mama Odie, she told us to find out what we needed, not just what we wanted, and that was the true way that we would be able to turn back into humans. So Mama Odie had a plan. And her plan was that she wanted Naveen to kiss my friend Charlotte, who was at the Mardi Gras that night. Kissing a princess would make both of us human again. But the bad magic man tried to stop Naveen and I from doing what we had to do. And the chase was on. Do you remember all the scary monsters that was chasing us? Would Naveen be able to kiss Charlotte in time? Sadly, it was too late. Time was up. Naveen and I remained frogs. But do you know what we realized? We realized that didn't matter. Our human forms didn't matter anymore. We were in love. And so that was really important to us. Whether we were frogs or humans or what, as long as we had each other, that's all that we needed. Mama Odie then married us. And then, suddenly Naveen and I kissed, and what happened? I turned into a princess. Yes, that meant that Naveen had finally kissed a princess. Naveen and I worked very, very hard together to make sure that we had our very own restaurant. He kept his promise like he told me. He told me he would help me find my restaurant, and he did. It was the best restaurant ever. And finally, I had what I wanted and needed. Good food, good times, and my friends and my family. The end. I I just want to say I've had so much fun with you all so far, and I'm very excited because I have one more story left. Now, this story might not seem very familiar. This is a very special story, a new story, now that Naveen and I are married and have our own restaurant. This is called Tiana's Growing Experiment. I sighed and hung up the phone. I've called every pepper farm in the state of Louisiana, and none of them have what I'm looking for, I told Naveen. I took a magazine off the counter and I showed it to him. I read about ghost peppers in this article. I wanted to try them in my jambalaya, but the problem is they're from India. No one grows them here. As Naveen went upstairs, I slowly flipped through the pages of the magazine. Suddenly, something caught my eye. There, at the bottom of the credits page, was an address for one of the Indian farms the magazine writer had visited for the article. I decided to write them a letter and ask if they would be willing to sell some of their seeds for my peppers. A few weeks later, I was cooking up a batch of gumbo when Naveen came into the restaurant and handed me an envelope. I opened it. A small packet fell to the floor. I set it aside and began to read the letter out loud. Dear Princess Tiana, we have heard tales of your famous food and are honored that you would like to use the ghost pepper in your cuisine. Enclosed, please find the seeds you will need to grow them. I couldn't wait to get started, but there was just one problem. I knew how to cook a pepper, but I had never grown them before. So I decided to make a stop at the library to check out a few books all about gardening. By the end of the evening, I felt ready to finally start my own new garden. The next morning, I went to the market to buy some supplies. I found pots, gloves, a watering can, everything I needed. And then I ordered the dirt and the fertilizer to be delivered to the restaurant. Back at the restaurant, I went up to the roof deck. I was going to turn this space into my own garden. Once everything I needed was delivered, I finally got started. You see there? So that's me buying all the supplies. And then here at the bottom, that's me in my new space, my new dream garden. It needs a little work though. Each morning before the restaurant opened, I checked on my peppers. Oh, I was so worried. I hope I planted them correctly, I told Naveen one night. What if they don't grow? They will, Naveen said. Just be patient. Finally, one morning, I saw a spot of green. I was so excited to see the peppers start to grow, and I decided I might as well try to grow some other things too. A few days later, I was planting on some new vegetables when I heard a very familiar voice. Tia, are you up here? Now, do you know who calls me Tia? That's right, my friend Charlotte. I looked up, just as Charlotte had opened the door to the roof. What on earth are you doing? You're completely covered in dirt. It's filthy up here, she told me. I just smiled at her. Welcome to my garden, Lottie. You want to help me? You want me to touch that? Charlotte asked. There could be bugs in there. Oh, come on, Charlotte. It's just a little dirt, Naveen said with a wink. And Tiana's having fun. In fact, she's having so much fun that I'm thinking of trying it. Charlotte looked over at him. You're gonna get your hands all dirty? I'm getting out of here before any of that filth gets on my new dress. Lottie is so silly, isn't she? Now that I had Naveen to help me, I started teaching him a few things, teaching him all the things that I learned how to do on my own. I taught him how to take the seeds out, how to plant them, what to do, how to wash everything. But we need to get it done in a few days, I told him. A few days, Naveen cried. But I wanted to work in the garden with you today. Do you remember what he told me earlier on when I was worried about the vegetables? What is it you told me? Be patient, I said. Just then, Louie came into the kitchen looking for a snack. Did I hear someone say garden? He asked. Can I try? Now I smiled at the alligator. Of course you can, I said. A few days later, I tended to my existing plants while Naveen and Louie got busy planting their crops. But Naveen was having a very, very hard time. With my help, We fixed up all the pots and all the plants. Then, day after day, Louie, Naveen, and even Charlotte came by and helped me out. We went up to the roof to check on the plants. "Hey, look at that!" Naveen shouted. "Look at what?" Charlotte asked. She had come up to the roof to find us. "My cucumbers, I did it!" "Honestly, it's kind of fun. It's messy, but look what I have to show for it," Naveen said. Charlotte wandered around the roof. "Wow, Tia, those peppers are really big. And Louie, those radishes do look tasty. You all seem to be having so much fun. Maybe getting a little dirty isn't so bad." Then she decided that instead of just helping us with the vegetables, she was going to help us grow some pretty, pretty flowers. I walked over to Lottie and I said, "Come on, Lottie. We'll go to the market and we'll find you the perfect flowers to grow." Over the next few weeks, we spent as much time as we could working on our plants. Even Charlotte got excited when she saw her flowers start to bloom. "Look at that. They're so pretty," she said. Naveen surveyed the roof. "There are pots everywhere. What are we going to do with all these vegetables?" he asked. I just smiled. "Leave it to me. Meet me back here at 5 o'clock on Monday night." That Monday, all of us gathered on the roof. Charlotte gasped as she looked around. "Tia," she said, "you turned all your vegetables into dinner." I just smiled. I realized we had grown the perfect ingredients for a summer salad. And for everyone daring enough to try it, the first batch of my new jambalaya recipe, guaranteed to set your mouth on fire. And that's the end of my last story. Thank you, thank you, thank you to all of my friends at the Warren Newport Library and to the friends of the Warren Newport Library. I had such a good time. I hope you all did too. Thank you for singing with me and for listening to my story and just spending so much time with me here today. I really appreciate it. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Please stay safe. Please stay healthy. Thank you. Bye-bye.